Till a few years ago, governments were talking about double-digit, 10% plus growth rates. Now, 6.5% is all policymakers are speaking about. Is 6.5, 7 the new normal? Is this what India should expect realistically over the next few years?
Well, I think if you look at India's growth trajectory over the last 40, 50 years, you find a very tight fit with what's happening globally and what happens in India. So when we had this extraordinary boom in the 2000s, where the Indian economy did grow at 9% or so, we have to take one thing very important into account. The global economy was booming back then. The global economy was growing at about 4% or so. Emerging markets in general were growing at 7%. In the current era, and this is a point I've been making, which is that the global economy's growth rate has now slipped to about 2.5%. And in the entire history of India's economic development, the Indian economy on a sustained basis has never been able to grow more than about 3 percentage points faster than the global economy. So what's the logical conclusion here? That the global economy is going to be growing at 2.5%. Then for the Indian economy to grow much faster than 5.5%, 6% is extremely difficult. It's never been done before, even during the heydays of India's growth story back in the 2000s. Why is the global economy growing at this pace of 2.5%? Because the demographics have changed. The world's population is not growing at the rate that it was. Even India's population growth rate has slowed down significantly, as you know. Then when you look at factors such as de-globalisation, that's also come into play now. That's changing how India's growth trajectory will also be. So these global factors are pulling down India's growth rate as well. India's export growth rate in the peak boom years used to be 25-30% a year. It is impossible now for India's exports to grow 25-30% when the global economy is not growing so rapidly. So I think there's a major shift across the world in the growth rates, and that's what I think is leading to a slowdown in India's trend growth rate as well. So yes, to cut a long story short here, I think 5.5, 6 kind of growth expectation for India is much more realistic under this global economic scenario than, just throwing about numbers like 9 or 10%. That's the kind of growth rate where you get when the global economy is booming, and also if you are able to take the kind of massive structural reforms that China was able to take. But India's political economy, I don't think, allows for that.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.